Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAF TV for today, the 1st of September 2022. My name is Cyril Aloysius and thanks for joining me. Looking at the papers with me today is Mr. Sunny Gomora. You're very much welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and the first paper we shall be looking at is the Vanguard. Amongst the headlines in the Vanguard, we have this one says, PDP, Ayu blows hot, says calls on him to quit. Childish. PDP, Ayu blows hot, says calls on him to quit. Childish. That's on page 5 of the Vanguard. And next on page 8, we have Kuka. We must be vigilant to save Nigeria's democracy in 2023, says Jonathan. Kuka, we must be vigilant to save Nigeria's democracy in 2023, says Jonathan. Okay, that's on page 8. And next we have, in the US, Peter Obi vows to increase electricity or leave presidency. In the US, Peter Obi vows to increase electricity or leave presidency. Another interesting headline here says, Access Bank leading sustainable banking in Nigeria. Access Bank leading sustainable banking in Nigeria. That's according to DMD on page 7 of the Vanguard. And on page 20, we have stock markets. Stock market investors rake in 4.6 trillion naira in 8 months. Stock markets investors rake in 4.6 trillion naira in 8 months. Okay, that's on page 20. And on page 8, we have, we don't abduct terrorist citizens. DSS refutes AL's report. Says we don't abduct, terrorize citizens. I beg your pardon, we don't abduct and terrorize citizens. DSS refutes AL's report. That's on page 8. And lastly, on page 8 as well, we have Akeredolu Okowa at daggers drawn over pipeline surveillance contract. Akeredolu Okowa at daggers drawn over pipeline surveillance contract. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Vanguard today. Mr. Sunny, which of the headlines would you want to react to?
Okay, I want to talk about Ayu's blowing blowing odds.
Okay.
Some faction of the PDP have been calling for his resignation, that he should leave office due to the PDP primaries. We saw the drama that unfolded that evening. How Atiku emerged as a flag bearer. So some faction is still not happy with that, and the faction is the weakest faction. So they are calling for his removal.
Okay.
As the party chairman, if at all there will be peace in the party, and if they will have to move together as PDP for the forthcoming election. And he's coming out to say he's not going to resign, that now he's one of the founding fathers. He has been there from time immemorial. So why those people that are calling for his resignation or removal are small boys? And if at all he leaves that position, none of them is going to take over. None of those people is going to take over as the party chairman.
Okay.
I think that's been the back and forth that is going up right now.
All right, just before we draw the curtain on that headline, should it actually come to manifestation that Ayu is actually impeached or removed as the chairman? Do you see that
Yes,
actually?
because I think that's the terms that this other faction is giving right now, that for them to have any agreement, for them to move forward as a party, that is everybody coming together to work together to support Atiku. That he because I think they are hot because they feel that the procedures towards the primaries were somehow bent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if it actually happens that he is impeached, is that going to benefit PDP in any way going forward?
I wouldn't know, because I'm not a member of PDP. But if his removal is going to make them come together as one. Why not? Because this other faction is saying that they know that him as a sitting party chairman was not supposed to allow someone who had come out to speak and give his own speech, leaving the podium, then now come back and say, "Oh, I'm going out of the race, I'm giving my vote to this person." That is not the procedure for primaries, and they don't want to go to court. So they say for us to resolve this whole issue, first let this person step down as the party chairman, then we'll start talking from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonny, for your thoughts on that particular headline. Moving on now to the Daily Sun, where we have a very interesting headline here, boldly written in the center part of the Daily Sun. This one says, Assu Wike trade words. Okay, we actually just spoke about that. Assu Wike trade words. Those calling for my resignation are kids. That's according to PDP chair. Nobody can threaten us. That's Rivers governor saying on page 6 of Daily Sun. And next, on page 7 of Daily Sun, we have APC won't get 25% in most states. APC won't get 25% in most states. That's according to PDP on page 7. And next, on page 3 of Daily Sun, we have Buhari to autumn. I never ordered security agents not to touch Fulani killer headsmen. I never ordered security agents not to touch Fulani killer headsmen. Okay? That's coming from the president on page 3 of Daily Sun. And next in Daily Sun, we have Atiku Tambuwal, PDP challenge Wike's case. Atiku Tambuwal, PDP challenge Wike's case. That's on page 6. On page 6 of the Daily Sun. And next on page 26, we have Emirates reinstates flight operations to Lagos. Emirates reinstates flight operations to Lagos. That's on page 26. And on page 6, I beg your pardon, we have INEC warns election observers against late application. INEC warns election observers against late application. That's on page 6. And lastly, on page 7 of Daily Sun, we have resolve Assu strike now, Obi tells federal government. It says resolve Assu strike now, Obi tells FG, federal government. That's on page 7 of the Daily Sun. You want more details on these headlines you heard, do get a copy of the papers for yourself. Okay, shortly before we move to our last paper for the day, Mr. Sunny, which of the headlines would you want to react to?
Okay, I want to talk about autumn. I talk about Wike, and I also talk about Assu.
Okay.
Wike, was it yesterday? He was doing a flag off for a road construction, and he, like the way Wike will always talk. He has been talking, He said that before the elections, that Rivers State will decide who they will vote for. That Rivers State is going to come out and take their stand. So automatically he's saying that they are going to say this is who we are supporting, this is who we are voting. Because recently you could see that Wike has been having meetings with APC chieftains, he's been having meetings with Labour. Nobody knows what is cooking up. So he said before the election proper that they're going to come out and take their stand. You understand?
Okay.
So he's saying that Rivers State is going to decide, and nobody is going to decide for Rivers State. So for me, I'm not going to be surprised if there's a kind of cross-carpeting, because it just shows that everybody is fighting for his or her own interest.
Yes.
They don't really care what you care.
But that's politics, don't you think?
Yes.
It's a game of interest.
Yes. So then for Governor Otto, you can see that since the advent of this Boko Haram crisis, Fulani herdsmen, you can also say they are one of the states that is worst hit. Like in Benue State now, a lot of people don't really go to farms anymore. And it's a farming state. It's a state where they are deep down into agriculture. You understand? So, and you can see that it's one of the governors that have been very vocal about the killings, and here he's accusing the president that the president, under your watch, people are dying, Nigerians are not happy, and he has even told the president that you have failed, and he's beginning to accuse the federal government that federal government knows those sponsoring Boko Haram. You understand? And if you are in his shoes, you feel the same way because this under the watch of the president, Kuje prison, and I think if there's any place that is so secured in this country, is the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. If and that prison is in the heart of the FCT. It's not like it's in the municipal council outskirts of the town. You understand?
So you feel like for that prison, that particular prison to be breached or broken, then it
And
means
to
that...
your amazement, even before the crisis, like the prison break, I was shocked that a prison of that magnitude does not have CCTV.
Yeah, we're all shocked actually.
So it just shows the kind of country we are living in. This is a computer age. For a prison like that is called a maximum prison, does not have CCTV. It's after the jailbreak that saying, let us bring CCTV. Let us. Then what is the budget that they allocate to these prisons every year?
What have they been
That is
used
the
for?
national budget.
Yes.
What are they doing with it? You understand?
Yes.
So is it that they just only buy stationaries, toilet rolls, and they say they spend 20 billion, 50 billion to feed prisoners? Me, I go to the prison, so I even see I go to the prison, so I know the kind of food they give to these prisoners. They're not food that you want any of the family member to eat. You just looking at the food, you just know that this country is in a mess. Assu, I want to talk about Assu. You can see on the 24th of August, some of the non-academic staff of union, they pulled out of the strike that they want to resume. The reasons I don't know, maybe because for 6 months they've not been collecting salary or so. But even as at today, you can see that some states have started pulling out of the ASU strike. You understand? And me, I know
Some other universities
yes,
as well.
I know it will get to this point because right now you can see the state governors have started coming in. So maybe they will start to talk to their chancellors and pro chancellors, and for me, I'm not surprised that they've started pulling out. But if a union is fighting for a just cause, I don't see why some faction will say, "Oh, we are pulling out," because it will just mess up the whole process.
So you think it shows disunity amongst the union, right?
Yes, it just shows what money can do. It just shows what money can do because if you are the union chairman in my state and I'm telling you, guy, pull out of this thing now, I'm going to give you this amount, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you see that, but for the past 6 months, so my children have been hungry. So it just shows what money can do. You understand? So because right now, ASU itself is not stable. They are not together anymore. But on the 6th, the NUC, the National University Commission, in collaboration with the Minister of Education, they are going to have another round of meeting. They've invited the pro-chancellors, the vice-chancellors, and the university governing board to come for a meeting. So let's just hope that this meeting turns out well.
Yes, let's hope that the meeting turns out well. And finally, they get to have a solution to the ASU strike. Okay, straight now to our last paper for the day, which is This Day. We shall be looking first at a particular interesting headline here. This one says, with 177 days to presidential poll, race still to close to call. I beg your pardon? With 177 days to presidential poll, race still too close to call. Okay. That's on the bottom part of This Day. And next we have, are you those calling my sacking are children? Okay, we already heard that before. And another one says, Okada ban, defaulting riders, passengers risk 3 years imprisonment. Lagos warns. That's on page 41 of This Day. Okada ban, defaulting riders, passengers risk 3 years imprisonment. Lagos warns on page 41. And lastly, we have at Kuka's birthday celebration, Jonathan urges Nigerians to be vigilant to save a democracy. At Kuka's birthday celebration, Jonathan urges Nigerians to be vigilant to save democracy. Okay, that's the much we can take on this day. If you want to have more details on these headlines, get a copy of the papers for yourself. Mr. Sunny, how do you react to these headlines?
Okay, I think the Okada ban in Lagos has not is not new. I think it's over a year.
Yeah,
or
it's
more.
been lingering now.
You know that this government said that there should be total ban in even the LGAs. You understand? Places like Ikorodu. You know, so.
Well, what do you think about that? Is it a welcome development?
Yes, for me, I don't think bikes should be a modern day means of transportation because of the risk that is involved.
Okay.
But I think 3 years for not keeping to that law for me is too much, because if they are so quick to say 3 years for somebody that violates the law, what about a fine? What about saying okay 6 months and a fine?
So you feel the
understand?
you feel the penalty is too harsh?
Yes, it's too much, because
Okay.
if we are so quick to say 3 years for breaking traffic law, why can't we say okay 3 years for embezzlement?
Okay.
Why can't we say 3 years for stealing? Why can't we say 3 years or 10 years for looting?
So you're saying indirectly that the
Yes,
government are not being fair.
Yes, they are very quick when it comes to putting laws that affect
The common man.
common masses. You
Okay.
understand? Those that are down there the ladder. Because if you want to look at it on the other way around, these people have also created jobs for themselves. So for you to say you want to outrightly ban it, where is the measures?
The provision, yes,
To cushion
to help them survive.
you understand?
Yes.
Why can't you say okay, we are going to build more roads and build lanes for bikes
Okay.
as it is in China? Why can't we say we are increasing the roads and build a road lane for just bikes?
Okay.
You understand? For those that want to use bikes.
Or look for a way to actually, if you really want them to leave this bike of a thing, look for a way to compensate
You
them.
can even
Give them money.
You can even give them soft loans. Or you can even say, okay, you are bringing a transport scheme. where
Yes.
These same bike people are registered properly. That data, you have them and provide vehicles like the Uber system we see now.
Something
and the
like
Bolt
that.
System, where you transfer these vehicles to them and let them pay on mortgage for a period of maybe 5 years or a period of maybe say 3 years. They pay. And since it's their own property and they know that the cars are on loan and they are going to pay over a period of time, you effectively manage it than you coming to say you are giving them 3 years when you did not put anything on ground to help them survive. Because
Okay.
with the teeming number I've seen in Lagos that drives Okada and Keke, they are ultimately pushing them out of the street. Just know that crime is going to be on the
Increase. Exactly. Mr. Sunny, thank you so much for your thoughts on the program today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by. And as for you who has been watching us to this time, thank you so much for staying faithful to your screen. Without you, we would not be here. That is a fact. My name once again is Cyril Aloysius, and unfortunately, this is where we have to draw the curtain on the program for today. It is the newspaper review, an end to it for today. And please don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. You can check us out on YouTube, we're at TAP TV. Check us out on Instagram, we're at TAP TV_NG, on Facebook, we're at TAP TV, and on Twitter, we're at TAP TV. And don't forget to visit www.tavmedia.com to get updated on all angles and areas of life. Well, it's a bye-bye for now until we come here again next time. To have a wonderful day. Bye.